Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Torrential Tom. I am your host, Torrential Tom, as we look forward to the weekend coming up, and then two potential snow threats next week, one early in the week and one later in the week. We look now at our current weather map, and we have this low pressure here just getting close to the northwestern United States. That is going to be our weather maker early next week that could give us a shot of snow. This storm system is going to be traveling south into California, giving much needed precipitation there, and basically cutting across the country. This right here is our GFS model, our American model, from the latest run. This is the initialization. Right here, this is the low pressure that I just circled. That's going to be our weather maker early next week. This high pressure right here in the Midwest and the Dakotas and Minnesota is going to be our weather for the weekend. This is what's going to give us our beautiful weather, but also our cold weather. So we look ahead. This is the end of the weekend now. This is the American model midnight Sunday. As I mentioned, that low pressure system is going to be traveling south into California and across into Texas. So the American model right now showing it midnight Sunday in northern Texas, and a low pressure system. The winds are going counterclockwise. So if you follow these isobars, the winds are pulling moisture from the Gulf of Mexico into the southeastern United States. But if you notice, not much snow associated with this model. A lot of rain, a lot of heavy rain right here in Missouri and Arkansas. We compare that to the European model, same time frame, Sunday midnight, low pressure basically in the same area, northern Texas, pulling that moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. We have a line of severe storms, potentially in eastern Texas and northeastern Texas, have that heavy rain, which is what the GFS model is showing, but we have a larger batch of frozen precipitation on the back end of this storm and the cold section of this storm. We look at the GFS Monday morning. This is a look at higher up in our atmosphere at the jet stream winds. So this kind of gives us an idea of where a storm system is going to travel or where our weather is going to travel. And if you follow these lines, it is suggesting that our low pressure system is going to move a little further north and then go due east into the Atlantic. Same thing with the European model, same time frame, Monday morning. And again, it's suggesting a northern turn and then a due east shift out into the Atlantic. The big question is, how far north will this system go and how much precipitation will there be to potentially give us some snow? We look at the American model now, Monday early evening, and again you could see a lot of rain getting pulled up into now the mid-Atlantic states. You can see some more snow associated with this as it is running into colder air, which we have in place from really early this week through this morning and through all this weekend. And the big question, as I mentioned, is it going to travel further north or is it going to travel due east now and give us just snow showers or flurries? So what this weather map is showing, you have a strong high pressure here in Canada, and basically it is suppressing this system further to the south. This storm system cannot exit north or northeast. It is forced out due east into the Atlantic. And as you can see, Tuesday early morning, the GFS American model is suggesting this storm system is suppressed. The moisture is drying out. It is not heading further north. Our area is dry. Maybe a few passing flurries as most of the energy is exiting the East Coast into the Atlantic. We look at the European model now, Monday, early evening. Again, a lot more snow associated with this system. But how far north will this storm travel? You can see there's a low pressure here in the Indiana area. There's another low pressure forming off the North Carolina, Virginia coast. How far north will this travel? Again, you have that high pressure setup showing here, suppressing the system, so it is not going to go further to the northeast. Again, European model Tuesday morning shows that low pressure shifting a little further to the northeast. This is the furthest north it's going to go. You can see we have some snow moving into our area, some lighter to moderate snow, and we have that low pressure forming off the Atlantic. This low pressure will not move further north because of that high pressure. It's going to go due east, sending most of the energy, most of the moisture off the sea, off the coast, giving us some very limited accumulations. Our light snow will continue through Tuesday afternoon according to this model, but again, as I said, very light snow as this high pressure, very strong and very dominant in Canada, controlling most of the weather really for Canada and the United States. As I mentioned at the start of this video, there are 2 shots of snow possible next week. We have that storm system we just discussed, which seems like it will definitely be around in the United States and around our area. It's just a question of how far north and how much moisture will be associated with the cold sector of that storm. But we look at the GFS Wednesday noon, and you can see there's a storm system here in the southeast United States. Again, pulling moisture, a lot of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. And we move to Thursday noon, and this is your typical nor'easter setup. Very, very strong coastal storm. A lot of cold air in place because of this high pressure right here. Very strong high pressure, clockwise winds with high pressure systems. So we have a lot of cold Canadian air continuing into our area, which we saw today, we saw throughout this week, we're going to see throughout the weekend. So a lot of cold air in place, but how far north will this high pressure allow this strong low pressure system to move? Currently, the GFS model is suggesting a further east trend, but again, we are a week away from this, so this storm may not even exist, but it is in the cards, and more updates will follow as we move closer to next week. So the question is the European model showing this? So Wednesday noon, not much rain associated with this system as we saw with the GFS model at the same time. But Thursday midnight, the European model is showing, again, a very strong coastal low off the North Carolina, Virginia coast. But again, that high pressure system very strong, very cold air in our area, but not allowing that low pressure to move up the coast to give us snow. We look at the GFS model snowfall totals. Again, as we saw from the models, not much snow moving far north into our area. At most, maybe a dusting with that early next week storm. European model, we saw a little bit more snow move in, a little more moisture move in as it had a little bit further northern track, but not much more snow, a few inches, 2 to 4 maximum. But again, we are a few days away. Much more could change with the early next week storm and, of course, the later storm. To move into something that's a little more definite, our weekend setup, we have that high pressure that I mentioned previously in the episode. It's going to move a little further south into the Minnesota area, Illinois area. We have that clockwise rotation around this high pressure. So we're going to have very, very cold air from Canada moving in. Saturday, we're also going to have some pretty brisk winds. So wind chills definitely going to be in the teens as we have a low pressure system over here moving away. And that is why we have our tight gradients here of isobars. Differences in pressure are going to create that stronger wind. In summary, we're going to have below average temperatures through next week. So it's not going to be a quick shot of cold just today, tomorrow. It's going to last throughout the weekend, throughout next week. As I mentioned, that high pressure is going to be causing us to have a beautiful weekend, clear skies, but very cold, especially Saturday with the windy conditions. High temperatures not going to be reaching the 40s all weekend. Clouds are going to be moving in throughout Monday. We have that chance of snow Monday night into Tuesday. Right now, it looks like if we get snow, it's going to be very light snow, very light accumulations, but we will keep you updated. Follow my Twitter, Torrential Tom, and also continue to follow me on YouTube. Like my videos as I will be posting more updates throughout the weekend. And then, as I mentioned, that bigger threat is looming later next week, and I will, of course, keep you all updated on that. So, again, like this video, subscribe to me, and then follow me all weekend as I will be posting more updates. Have a wonderful Friday. I will talk to you soon.